we have a problem here. I thought my Sephora Kids video was done, but I was wrong. This is turning out to be way bigger of a problem than I think any of us even know. Just because I have so many videos that I need to share with you guys, I'm gonna just get right into it.
These 10-year-old girls at Sephora are crazy, but what's crazier are the parents that aren't parenting. So the other day when I was working, we were kind of busy, so the line was kind of long, and this little girl walks up to me, and her basket is literally overflowing. Like, the amount of products that were in there, she had to have been maybe 9, 10, maybe 11 years old, but regardless, definitely way too young to be shopping at Sephora. And I start grabbing the items out so I could scan them, and before I can start, she goes, "Wait, I have 2 perfumes on hold. Can you get those too?" And I'm like, "Yeah, of course. What's your name?" So I go grab her perfumes, and then she goes, "Can you scan those first so I can see how much they are?" So I proceed to scan the 2 perfumes, and the 2 perfumes alone came out to $300.
$300. $300. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being 10 years old and ringing up $300 of just perfumes? Now, that's not her whole basket full of items she has. That's not included. $300 for perfume at 10.
So after she saw the price of the 2 perfumes, I guess that wasn't enough. So she was like, "Okay, yeah, you can scan the rest of the items in the basket." She's by herself. So I'm kind of just like, who's with her? Like, did she come with a sister, a friend, her mom? Like, who is this little girl with? So I finished scanning all her products, and her total came out to almost $900.
$900? $900. Could you even imagine? I couldn't imagine now. I really couldn't. I am 29 years old. I can't even fathom $900 on makeup, skincare, perfumes. Like, no. I'm going to just stop it there, and I'm going to have all the videos that I talk about in this video linked below so you can go watch the full ones if you want to. Basically, she goes on to say that she rings up the $900 worth of products. She calls over her sister, who was in the next checkout over, and the sister's basically asking, like, "Do you have enough money?" She says no, and she's like, "I'm just going to use mom's money."
Huh?
What? Also, why are there so many little kids in these stores with no parent? Where are they? How are they getting there? I am so confused. I mean, it makes sense in a mall setting, I guess, but I feel like I would not let my 10-year-old just wander off at a mall. Is that weird? I definitely wasn't wandering around by myself at 10. It was a big deal for me when I was like 14 to go to the mall with my friends. Like, anyway, she rings up $900. She doesn't have enough money. She says she's going to use her mom's card. Her mom comes over finally, asks how much it is, freaks out at the money, obviously. Any parent would. And then tells her she needs to take some stuff out. The kid gives her back talk, which I can't even imagine doing. I can't. And then her mom finally gets her to take out some of the things and gets it down to like $700. And then tells her mom, "I'm not taking anything else out." Could you? Oh my God, it'd be over for me. It would be over. It'd be over. I would be getting nothing, and we would be marching out of that store. She talks back with her mom. Her mom finally tells her to take more stuff out, and she listens and brings it down to $500. $500 is still... what little girl needs $500 worth of anything in Sephora?
I think that all little girls should be banned from Ulta and Sephora, and let me tell you why. I worked at Ulta for around 2 months. We're not going to talk about it, but I was a task associate, so I really only worked in the back. I didn't really see a lot of the stuff that went on in the front, but I was stocking stuff up in Elf one day, and it was like an hour before close, and this group of little girls, probably like 10 or 11, come in with their moms, and I think it was one of their birthdays, but I'm not sure. This little girl comes up to me in the Elf aisle, and she was like, "I don't know what shade of bronzer to get." It was like the liquid bronzer, and I was like, "Okay, let me help you out." Like, totally normal, you know? Like, it's Elf products. Elf. It's not high-end. It's cheap stuff. I was playing with Elf products whenever I was like 10 or 11 too. So like, that's totally normal. And all of the friends are like running around. They're like, "Where's the drunk elephant?" You know, like, It was insane. And after a few minutes, the little girl picks out like 10 things from e.l.f. It was like the lip oil and like the primer, like all the TikTok-y trendy stuff. And she goes over to her mom and she's like, this is the stuff I want. And her mom was like, you can only pick out a couple things, not all of it. And she started getting really mad at her mom. She proceeds to tell her mom, I think you're just telling no because you're jealous of me because I'm pretty and you're not.
Oh no. It would be over. It would be done. I would be done. I'd be done. Could you imagine ever saying that to your mom? Like what, how are they even thinking this way? I can't imagine even like processing that in my mind and then saying it to my mother as a child. Now, again, that wasn't the entire video that I played. I'm going to have it linked below. But in it, she like talks about how she thinks children should be banned from Sephora. And no, I don't agree with that. And I'm sure she's not really meaning it. But it is wild. It is really wild what some of these kids are out here doing, how disrespectful they are. Like, I cannot believe the way they talk back to their parents, the way they're treating other customers, the way they're treating employees. I've seen videos where employees are coming out and they're saying that these kids are literally calling them ugly.
The rumors are true. I work at Ulta and the demographic for people coming in the store is just getting younger and younger. The last shift I worked, I had at least 3 girls under the age of 12 come in and ask for, like, Drunk Elephant products. And I love makeup. I started getting into makeup at a very young age. I thought it was so fun. So I don't have an issue with girls coming in and looking for makeup at all. And I love to help them find the right products. My problem comes in, especially with Drunk Elephant, when they try to buy skincare that they either don't need or they ruin the displays. The retinol craze is wild. Someone my age shouldn't even be using retinol yet. Or they will come in and make smoothies and leave it for the workers to clean up. And it is disgusting. They mix like a bunch of brown stuff together. Like, I don't want to be cleaning that up, girl. Like, this girl who was probably no age over the age of 8 came in with her dad the other day. And it's gotten to the point at our store where we have to put the bronzy drops and everything up by the registers so that kids don't come in and steal them. So she came up and asked me if we had the bronzy drops. We did, and I gave them to her. And honestly, if you're going to buy a Drunk Elephant product, that's the one to go for younger children because it's not going to ruin their skin. But it's $38. And this poor dad has no idea, like, what he's buying. Like, even if I sold her retinol, he wouldn't have known any better. It's just so sad to see, like, kids are buying things that they don't need. But I do think there's a way that they can come in, buy makeup, buy skincare, try it out. They just don't need to be using the Drunk Elephant products. Or skincare products they don't need. Let me just add on, if you're someone younger coming into the store, please don't be rude to the workers.
Okay, so with this girl, I fully agree with her. Like I said earlier, doing makeup, totally fine, totally normal. Like, if someone wants to be creative and express themselves, you know, we all have our opinions on what age kids should be wearing makeup by. I know that's up to every parent. I personally wouldn't have my kid going out like it, but if they just enjoy doing it and they're being creative at home, like, whatever. You know, we all kind of played with makeup. Some of it. Well, not all of us. A lot of us played with makeup. But yeah, her point here saying how these parents are just going in and buying these kids like these expensive makeup products that they don't know, first of all, what's even in it, but also that a lot of it is such a waste of money. Like, that is so expensive. $38 for some bronzing drops? Like, I'm sorry. No. And also, I know we all can come on here and talk about Gen Alpha this, Gen Alpha that. It's not the kids' faults. It is fully adults and parents really need to be conscious of what their kids are watching, consuming, putting on their skin, on their body. I think of myself with my dog. Guys, with my dog, I research the hell out of literally anything that goes into his body or on him. I don't understand how some parents are not researching things that their kids are wanting. I don't get it. And I know, I'm not a parent. I know there's that whole trend right now where everybody's saying like, oh, people who don't have kids are always the perfect parent. And I'm not trying to say there is no perfect parent, first of all. I'm not trying to say I know better. However, as someone who is a human, who has a brain, and I have different thoughts, I would not be that way. I would be researching the hell out of everything. Is that weird? I don't feel like that's weird. I mean, I know we all have different opinions on things, but to me, that's just kind of like common sense, that if your child is interested in something, you're going to research it and look into it.
Katie, board certified dermatology nurse practitioner. Let's talk about this so-called skincare smoothie that is trending on TikTok. So apparently there's TikToks about making a skincare smoothie. It's mainly these 10-year-old girls that are going to Sephora and buying Drunk Elephant with mommy and daddy's credit card. It's essentially putting all of your products together and applying them all at one time. One go. Your vitamin C, your retinol, your eye cream, peptide, moisturizers, all going on at one time. Just slap it all on. What could go wrong? Y'all, come on. This does not even sound like a good idea. What I assume they're trying to do is save time, which is comical because they're 10. But what they're also doing is just lighting their parents' money on fire. All these skincare smoothies are doing is they're decreasing the effectiveness of all the products by mixing them together and applying them all at one shot. And honestly, if your regimen is so super long and daunting to the point where you want to mix it together like a science experiment to save time, you might need a new skincare regimen.
And there you go, folks. Board certified dermatology nurse practitioner telling you it is a waste of money to be mixing all of those things together. It is just ridiculous. And I can't even fathom the amount of money that is just quite literally, as she put it, lit on fire. Okay, so I really kind of wanted to make this video into kind of 3 separate parts. So the first part is going to be a lot of the Sephora kids. The second part I want to be about some of the teachers that are speaking out about kids right now. And then I want to leave you with some conclusions and thoughts on what could be the cause, what you guys think. So now we're going to get into teachers.
Young Gen Z teachers are talking about the poor behavior of Gen Alpha students, and some of y'all are finally starting to believe us when it comes to how much we've missed the mark on raising these kids right.
My folder of crying teachers, and they are confused and frightened by the behavior of Gen Alpha. They're saying Gen Alpha is defiant, aggressive, disrespectful, and rude.
Having to teach and work with you guys as children has been the most traumatic experience of my life. They don't respect any authority. You ask them, can you stand in your designated spot? They're telling you no and shut up. They're throwing things at each other. They're throwing things at other people, other classmates. You say, can everybody sit in their spot? I don't want to. I'm not doing that. You don't get to tell me what to do. You're not my mom.
Like, I'm not even trying to be funny, but these kids are... I'm going to just say this. I teach 7th grade. They are still performing on the 4th grade level.
I'm a middle school teacher. I'm also 22 years old. And I will tell you, by far, we are doomed. Like, these kids do not care. Like, I have kids, all they want to do all day long is get high. Like,
I need to ask millennials, why are your kids so awful? And more importantly, why do you think it's so funny? Your kids cannot read. They cannot write. They are ill-mannered.
Okay, so in that, there's a lot to unpack here. We're seeing a lot of teachers talk about this. Like, a lot of teachers have come out and said that a lot of these kids right now are the reason they are quitting. Like, a lot of teachers who have been doing this for 10, 20, like even 30 years are not able to handle them. And obviously there's a lot of reasons why. There's, a lot of people are blaming like millennials or whatever. I don't think there's one particular generation here at blame. I think it's kind of ignorant to cover that as a blanket statement and just say, oh, it's millennial kids. However, I do see a commonality in the kids who are acting this way, and it's not just the age of the parents who are raising them, but it is they are checked out. They're not monitoring what they're watching. They're not monitoring what's going on, like in their life, even what they're putting on their face. I mean, I think of like back to when I was being raised, and I wouldn't say my mom was by any means a helicopter parent. She was not, but she was always aware of what I was doing, what was going on in my life at that time, what was going in my body. Like, she was present. Also, in this video, it's a very long one, so I'm not playing the whole thing, but she goes on to say that when she reaches out to parents to tell them that their kids are being reactive in school or having outbursts, the parents are responding by saying, well, they're not that way at home. And as she further explains, that's because they are occupied by their devices at home. The parents are not seeing what these teachers see, because the parents are seeing them in a calmed environment where they get to do what they want. They have their iPads, they're set, right? When you're in school all day without your devices, they're going to react. They're going to have outbursts. It's kind of insane that parents are so like, that is something I will never understand. I understand always being there for your kid and always being by their side. But these parents that are just so blind sometimes and just can't see that their child can do any wrong, I will never understand. I don't get it. Again, I know I'm not a parent, but just based on how I am as a person, I can't imagine thinking that way. I think that's a very dangerous way to raise your child, that they can do no wrong. All right, you guys are going to freak out at this one.
No. She just pepper sprayed me. Give me my phone. Give me my phone. God, wait. Hey. Can I get my phone? Can I get my phone? Can I get my phone? I need my phone.
Over the phone is crazy.
I need my phone.
Look at this nigga.
I need my phone. Pepper spray. Okay, give me my phone. She said okay. Can I get my phone? No, you can't have your phone.
Watch out now. I'm going in. Watch out. Don't go back to the flag.
I need my phone.
Over a phone, guys. She pepper sprayed her teacher in the face over a phone, which that's a very common rule. You don't have your phone in school, or in class at least. I mean, you can have your phone with you in school, but you don't have it out in class. Very common rule. I wasn't allowed to either, and guess what? If you did, you got it taken away. That's just something that happened. All I can say is it is disturbing. It is disturbing what some of these kids are doing. And again, I know it's not all the kids' fault. We can't always blame the kids. You have to look at the parenting. You have to look at who they're surrounded by. And clearly she's probably not surrounded by the best people or parents to be acting that way. I'm in the middle of researching more of what exactly went down and why. And it says 2 months earlier, the same teacher was punched in the face after taking a different student's phone when they were caught cheating in class. What the hell? What is wrong with them? And it says right here that she was texting and Googling answers for schoolwork. Now, is cheating something new? No. Everybody has always done that in the history of children. You know, kids do that in school. However, the way they're reacting is not common. It is not common. And for this teacher to be punched in the face first and then also maced by different students, this is just unacceptable. I've heard of so many teachers saying when they call the parents of their students who are being disobedient, the parents are being defensive of their children, yelling at the teachers, and I don't get it. I even have friends that have kids in school, and they have told me that their teachers thank them, that they're so kind and nice whenever the teacher has to call them. And it just breaks my heart that teachers are afraid to call the parents. I also just looked up because I'm curious at what's going to happen to the girl who maced the teacher in the face. And it does say that she will face a misdemeanor assault charge in the juvenile court. So that's good. We'll see if that actually happens.
Okay, y'all are gonna hate me for this one. I feel like so much of my For You page is parents going looking at their daughter's Christmas list, their 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old daughter's Christmas list, and going, why do they want Drunk Elephant skincare? Why do they want Kendra Scott jewelry? Why are they asking for Stanley cups and Lululemon? I have been a preschool teacher. I've been an after-school counselor. I've been an after-school director. I've worked in children's ministry for years and years and years. I have lots of experience. I've been a full-time nanny, and I have dealt with so many of these parents. And I'm just gonna say it, you guys are allowing the internet to raise your children. They go to school 6 to 8 hours a day. They have extracurriculars. They come home, they do homework, and then they're on their tablets, they're on their phones. I worked with 4th, 5th grade girls, 6th grade girls. They should not have TikTok.
I could not agree more. Again, I know everybody has a difference in opinion. I know everybody has a different way that they're going to raise their kid. If it were me, There's no way in hell. There is no way in hell that my kid is going to have that.
They should not. They do not need to have access to. These 4th grade girls are on the playground twerking. They are so mean and catty to each other.
They're twerking. These 4th grade girls are twerking on the playground. It is sad. It is so sad that this is what kids are seeing and wanting to act like.
Parents are not monitoring their children's internet access. I grew up in the age where social media was just becoming a thing, but I wasn't allowed to have social media until I was 9th grade because my parents didn't think I could handle it until then. I'm not weird. I don't feel like I missed out anything. In fact, I feel like I was given the opportunity to be a child. These girls are growing up too fast. They are sexualizing themselves. They're comparing themselves to girls who are more than half their age. That's why they look like they're in college when they're in elementary school, middle school. They're going to get pissed off when you take away their phone,
Okay, I couldn't agree more with that. I also grew up when the internet was a thing. I was on the internet. I was on YouTube, LimeWire. Anybody else that's like the same age as me remembers that. But just like her, I was not allowed to have social media. I didn't have social media till I was in high school. And I'm thankful for that. And guess what? The kids that I knew that had the cool parents that were allowing them to do all these things, they're a freaking train wreck. I'm just going to be real. They're a train wreck. And they either end up being a train wreck or they grow up being pissed off at their parents for not parenting them. Guess what? Your kid is going to be mad at you sometimes. They're going to hate you sometimes. But when they become an adult and they're in the real world, they will thank you. As a child and as a teenager, there are just some things that you just simply are not going to understand until you're an adult. And I know that's annoying to hear, but that's what it is. As an adult, you will look back and you will be disgusted by the people that sexualized you from a young age, and you will be thankful that your parent was a parent. No child needs their parent to be their best friend or the cool one. That's not something that should be in the forefront of your mind as a parent. I am like absolutely shocked when I'm out sometimes. Like I was at Universal not that long ago and I saw a kid, she could not have been more than 8 years old, in it was like a workout outfit. She was in a sports bra, an 8-year-old child in a sports bra. Why on earth would you ever see your child like that and be like, that's okay? I will never understand. And maybe I'll get hate for saying this. I don't know, but that's my opinion. And I think it's insane. It is insane that these kids are going around thinking that they are adults and wearing some of the things they're wearing, doing some of the things they're doing, the music that they're listening to. I am in disbelief. Obviously, we can all look back at some music we listened to and be like, oh, wow, like I didn't understand that. That's kind of crazy. I listened to that as a kid. But they know. The difference is they understand, and that is terrifying. No child should be listening to any sexual type music and understanding that. And if your kid is doing that, you need to seriously have a conversation with them and see why they know that.
I was not going to participate in the Gen Alpha slander happening all over TikTok. I really wasn't, because I have 2 Gen Alpha kids and I think they're pretty great. But then I took my kids to a public green space the other day and oh my God, they're the worst. And not all Gen Alpha kids. Like I said, I have 2. They're great. I know.
I am in agreement with her. Again, it's not all the kids. Some of them are amazing.
But holy shit. And no one who has a shitty little Gen Alpha child is going to listen to this and think that I'm talking to you, because y'all are the most like entitled, checked out, shitty parents on the planet. Oh my God. So this green space I took my kids to, it's like at the center, it's like in a courtyard at a mall. And like they just built a restaurant off of this green space. So a lot of you shitty, lazy parents are doing things like taking your kids to a restaurant. You are having time with your friends or whoever the fuck and sending your kids out to this green space to wreak havoc on all of the other families who have supervised children.
There we go. Like I was saying, the parents are completely checked out. They're putting their needs and wants first above their kids. And they're like, oh, we're going to go sit here, have some lunch, have a good time. Oh, they'll be on their own out there playing with themselves.
Little boy, there was a little boy. He had to be like 3 or 4. Not my child, I had to pull him off of 4 different kids, one being my own. After he fucked with my kid, every kid he went near after, I told him to stop. And guess what? Every single time I looked over at his mom, she's chatting with her friend. And at that point, like, why would I even go up to her and say, hey, your child's being a little piece of shit? Because you're sitting here being a piece of shit parent. Like, you're not going to do anything but get mad at me.
She's exactly right. What are you going to do? Confront the mom and then have her what? Be pissed at you? And again, she's not going to take accountability. Or she'll just say what a perfect angel her child is. Instead of parenting them, watching them, supervising them. This is at a park. This is at a public park. I'm not going to play the rest of it, but it's linked below for you to watch if you want to. She goes on to say that eventually the kid goes off and the parent can't find her kid. And she's running around asking, and it's just unbelievable. It is unbelievable. She also said that there was a busy road not far from there. So a 3-year-old can quite easily just take off. You know how much a toddler can do in just a couple of seconds? I can't imagine just sending my toddler off to go play on their own. First of all, when there's very creepy people out there, and also you don't know what your kid's doing or what other kids are doing to your kid. Why would you not be supervising them? It ended up okay. She found her kid, but it's just unbelievable. Okay, this one is a great one from a doctor, and she gives parents some ideas of alternatives that your children can use at a restaurant instead of an iPad.
Because you see a kid on their iPhone or iPad at a restaurant does not mean that they're an iPad.
I mean absolutely no hate to this creator by making this video. As the mom of 2 little kids, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, I understand the need for a break. I really do. Especially if you don't have family in town to like help watch your kids. Sometimes you just need a break. And so prior to having kids, I would have been like absolutely no screen time. But then my husband and I did find ourselves giving my son our phone to watch something at strategic times throughout the day when we needed a break. Like if we were at a restaurant, if we were in the car, my son hated the car. And so we would give the phone to him in the car and he would be quiet. About a year ago, maybe a little over a year ago, for many reasons, we made the decision to remove screens for my son. And so no more phone, no more iPad.
And I wonder why they made that decision.
He watches Disney on TV occasionally, but no phone and iPad. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. It was a very tough transition at first. He threw a lot of temper tantrums. He was very upset, but honestly, it didn't last that long, maybe a few weeks. And after that, he never asked for it again. Maybe I can count on like 3 fingers, but honestly, maybe not even that. I don't remember him ever asking for it again. So now he just knows that's not for him. But we also really like to go out to eat. And so we bring our kids. And so I would like to give you some examples of things that we do if you want to make the choice to not have phones or screens in the restaurants as well. So one of the things that we do, my son really loved, you can kind of adapt this to your kid because not every kid's going to be the same, but my son loved animals. So we would get these little animal figurines and he would play with those. And that would actually keep him occupied for a long time. It was even better if we could find like a lounge area to sit at in a restaurant. So he could kind of move around and play with the animals, but even sitting at a table was okay. A second thing that we did, my son's not a big colorer, so that's really never been a thing for us, but he really loves now bread with balsamic vinegar and olive oil. So we like strategically choose restaurants that have that, and that keeps him entertained for a very long time. We teach him how you gotta go like dip and then doot and then like eat it. So it's kind of like a game for him. So that's a strategy. One of the best things that we do is buy these busy books. I will link one in the top of my link in the profile if you want to see it. See one that we use. I just bought my son a dinosaur one because he loves dinosaurs. These keep him entertained for a really long time. Now, it did take some, I needed to also help initially, so I wasn't really getting the break part of it. But now, only after a couple of times,
I think that some of the examples that this doctor gave are great. They're great examples to keep your kid busy because, of course, they're kids. They're not going to be doing the same thing you're doing, having a conversation, as we all know. Nothing breaks my heart more than when you are out, not even just to eat, just out in general, and you see entire families on their devices, not talking with each other, not anything. It's strange to me. I don't get it. Like, maybe I may just sound like old school, I don't know, but I feel like there's something to be said about having like a meal together and enjoying things together. And I don't know, like, it's just weird. Okay, now this video, oh my God, when I heard this, my mind exploded.
I hate to be that guy, but there is a reason why the 10-year-olds are at Sephora. And it's a lot sadder. Okay, it's a lot sadder than we originally thought. We want to blame influencers. Like, influencers are making our kids buy X, Y, and Z. No, it is fully a lack of parenting. Here's the tea. The parents had what I lovingly refer to as an accessory baby. This comes from like the 2010 to 2012 era where people were like going all out on like the Instagram posts announcing their babies. This was like peak mommy and me Pinterest.
I think she's onto something, guys. I really do. That is insane. And it literally sparked a memory in my mind from that time period. It was like Pinterest was popping off. Instagram, like with the mommy and me, the matching, everything, like what she said, like an accessory baby. They had a baby because, oh my God, it'd be so cute for them to wear this. Oh my God, we could match, we could do this. And not that there's anything wrong with doing that, but you know what I'm talking about. You know the people I'm talking about. There's a difference in the people who everything is about aesthetic. Everything is about looks. Everything has to be like perfect. And guess what? Now those kids grew up. And it's like she said, they now have thoughts, feelings, and emotions. They're entering teenagehood. And all their life, they've been told like everything is about looks, everything is about aesthetic, you know. So of course they're going to be acting the way they are.
Go be somebody else's problem. Mommy and daddy don't want to look at you. And I know that's sad. It's sad, but it's kind of true. Like, how often do you see kids of this age running amok and mom and dad are nowhere to be found?
And the part where she says when it came time for them to parent and actually, you know, now the kid is growing up and talking back, the parents don't know what to do. And they're just like, oh, here you go. Here's the internet. And they're not parenting. At the end of the day, I don't believe that there's just one reason why this is all happening. I definitely believe that lack of parenting is a big one. And obviously social media and internet is making kids more aware way sooner about adult things. And I don't believe that kids should be getting hate. I don't believe that all of this should be pinned on kids because at the end of the day, they're kids. They only know what they're surrounded by. I wanted to end this off on some positives. Here's one funny video.
Why are you behaving this way? Like, the only shining hope I see in all of this is that in 4 years, we'll witness the first 18-year-old iPad kid, and Leonardo DiCaprio will see them as eligible and will date one, and they will humble him so brutally and be so rude to him that he'll be like, yeah.
Oh my God, the Leonardo DiCaprio? That cracked me the hell up. Oh my God. Here's the last video I wanted to show. This one's just so cute.
Vanelise, are you a Sephora kid? Are you a Sephora 10-year-old?
I'm 11.
Vanelise, how do you pronounce this brand? How do you pronounce it? Okay, Vanelise, who owns Rare Beauty? Do you know?
Now that is the 10-year-old I remember being. That's the 10-year-old I remember my sister being. That is just so sweet and so cute, and I love it. And I am sure that there's plenty of 10-year-olds out there that are very normal and very much similar to how we may have grown up. It just gets overshadowed sometimes with the chaotic ones. In true fashion of how my videos go, I always like to end it on asking you guys, what are your thoughts? Do you think I'm wrong here? Do you think I'm being dramatic? What are some of the reasons that you think? If I have missed anything, please let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear your opinion. I just find this stuff so fascinating. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I also have my socials linked below, so follow me on there. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!